My wife prefers the stairs while I like to take the elevator. I guess we were raised differently. Hey team, Sean Searle here. The last couple of visits we've been talking about relationships. We've discussed how pride is the most caustic force in relationships, while humility is the miracle grow. So the question is, how do you identify whether you're approaching relationships with too much pride and not enough humility? And there's one easy indicator that I want to share with you today. Ask yourself one simple question. Do you find yourself consistently frustrated in relationships because somebody didn't say something they should have or said something they shouldn't have, that they've done something they shouldn't have or didn't do something they should have? Is there something about them where they did not perform to your expectations that has created frustration for you? You see, expectations are the great indicator of whether you are elevating yourself in the relationship and expecting people to perform at your level. Now, it's true, there are certain levels of expectations that are reasonable. For instance, it's not unreasonable for a husband and wife to expect fidelity from the other. It's reasonable for a parent to expect some level of respect from their kids, and it's reasonable for a child to expect to be loved and provided for, fed, clothed, sheltered, and so forth. These are reasonable expectations that should be met. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are those expectations where I just think you ought to be doing this because it's the way I would do it, or I elevate myself in the relationship and expect you to crank it up to my standard. And here's the crown jewel of pride in a relationship. When you have expectations that are not being met, when somebody asks you, what do you want from me? And your answer is, you should just know what I want. I'm telling you right now, that's just crazy talk. Those type of expectations, that's a definite indicator that you're coming to the relationship from a position of pride and you're looking down on the other person. And you need to consider whether that's the way you want that relationship to continue, because it's almost certainly at some point, maybe even in years, it's going to disintegrate. By the way, relationships can be as small as being next to somebody in traffic, as we talked about last week. It can be as great as marital relationships and everything in between. Friendships, it can be employer-employee relationships, anything where you're having interaction with another person. Ask yourself, am I coming to these relationships with too many expectations? And if you find that relationship failure is common in your life, you might be the common denominator. Sorry to be so rough. I want to thank you for taking time. Wish you a great day.